everyone. So welcome back to Roundtable. So today we are excited to introduce Clockit.ai, a tool designed to make time tracking easy and accurate. Clockit.ai is helps you track your work like emails, calls, research happens automatically right on your computer or browser. So there is technically no need to enter anything manually. So this is actually helping all the industries to organize their time, to manage their time very record their time very easily. It sends them to the cloud and then fine tunes them based on your rules, like whatever rules that you have defined, keeping everything very neat and accurate. Finally, reviewing and submitting entries is quick and simple. With just a few clicks, you can send approved time entries to law accounting or your preferred system. Now I'll just let Vikram speak on. Let us Vikram. I'll let Vikram walk us through some of the key features, and we'll open for Q&A.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So we are very excited about this new add-on. Basically, initially when we designed this, Richard's vision was like add a add-on to log counting. But when we started giving demos to our investors and some of the key stakeholders, they were saying like, why don't you create it as an independent product because it can be connected with any project management system or any case management system. So why to stick with log counting? I'm like, all right, then minimum we should give free to our log hunting customers. So that is our last discussion point about the pricing. But let me jump directly to how it actually works. I mean, just to show you what exactly we are doing. Let me share my screen, and it is gonna give some bumpy right here. All right, so this is a quick, you can say, PPT I created. So the first step we do is like we install on your computer, right? So now there are few things. Let me just show you. Um, let's have some hands-on thing, right? So, so if you go to your Chrome, so there is a few extensions we have. One is basically my Chrome extensions, so I can actually install it on the Chrome. Sorry, it went somewhere else. Okay, so there is some Chrome extension I can install. It is throwing some errors right now because it's in a debug mode. Uh, so Chrome extension we are actually install. You can switch off, switch on, just like any other extension. So that way now it is, if you're on the Chrome, it will start capturing your activities, and we'll dig deep into that. Then there is an executable. I can install it on my Windows or Mac, which can be basically start capturing all your activities on your Windows. We are hoping it will capture pretty much like what you're doing. For example, if you're using your Microsoft Office locally, it will capture that. However, we are also building another extension for the Microsoft, which can be just drop into the Office only, which will capture what you're doing with the Office. So once you have this Clockit, app installed, extension installed or downloaded, what it is going to do is like right now the reason I am in the Chrome is because it gave pretty nice sidebar here. So so it actually started capturing your time. Now, what exactly time it is capturing? Like, okay, if I'm on yahoo.com, is it gonna even capture that, right? So if I go to yahoo.com, I mean, should this be capturing the time? It's not. See, it's not. So why it's not capturing the time? Because we have this something called settings. So every time you are gonna first time when you are gonna come in, you are gonna log in, you're gonna put your company ID and all this. It is gonna create a master user, like admin user kind of thing. And as an admin user, you can set up some of the apps which you want to track, and you can add a rule on that. For example, let's say I want to track yahoo.com, right, or any other, right? So I can put some kind of URL here. So those kind of like this URL. I want to put a URL, and I want to say, all right, the value is contain. For example, URL contains Yahoo. So when I add this, and I can put it for description for me. So when I add this, it actually add this. Now it is anytime it's gonna find Yahoo in between, it is gonna basically start tracking. Of course, I don't want to track my Yahoo on this, so I can remove this. So these are the rules I defined. So as a admin user, once I go in, I logged in first time, it is making me as an admin user. Uh, it is gonna let me capture. You see, there are few site which we are actually disabled it. The reason is like as a super admin, when we are implementing at the enterprise level, you can actually restrict these people to even change anything, right? For example, if I'm, capturing your productivity, I want to make sure that, for example, I'm working on Salesforce, I'm working in Filevine, I'm working on any other tool. So I want to capture all my activity, and I don't want people to be removing, uh, just for the sake of removing. So this basically right now this is disabled from the super admin user. So we'll go into security. If you have security concern, we can discuss in detail. So what exactly this is doing is it's going to start capturing. So this pop-up start coming in. This side tickler kind of thing is there just to show you what's going on. But if it is annoying too much, then we can actually remove it for sure, because this is literally like just to show me what's happening in my computer right now. So
Yeah.
now once you have this installed, everything is all set, you logged in, this will start capturing your only tabs, or if it is a executable, only those application which you actually put it as a rule into this, like you're telling the system that these needs to be captured. So now I put something like Google, Gmail, and I put Salesforce, like I call it force.com, all those kind of good stuff I want to capture. So now let's say I'm on this particular Google. So I'm working on this. System is gonna start flipping it is gonna start coming at it. Then if I move to my Gmail, I just put one free upgrade Gmail for the sale. You see, it automatically move Google on top, Salesforce on the down, and now it is running this particular time zone here. So every time it's capturing time, it's going to keep on adding into whatever is the active, uh, you know, active tab is there. So if you really see, all it is doing is capturing your tabs, like what activities you're doing on the tab is going behind the scene. So for example, if I'm coming back here, I'm clicking on this billing, and by the way, this is log counting, or if I'm doing edit with lines. So it is all capturing behind the scene, like, okay, you were on this particular customer, or you were on this particular matter. So all those kind of stuff you are doing is getting captured, and it is getting sent it to our server, which is basically uh, the depending upon what kind of licenses you have, because again at the end of the day, we need to make the calls to the LLMs. uh, those depending upon the license level. Enterprise, we are pretty quick, it's pretty much like real time. But if you have a little cheaper license, then we actually have like hourly we are sending that data instead of making call immediately to the LLM. So hourly we collect the data, we send it to the LLM. LLM is fine tuned on legal for now, legal time entries, legal billing, legal description of your time entries. So then what it is doing is basically it is taking your this information, send it to the LLM. LLM is sending us back that time entries and it clean it up. So then time entries started showing up here. Whenever they get cleaned up, they will start showing up here. Then we put some dashboard. Right now, I'm just doing some clicks, so it is just showing me all the clicks. Like today is this week, this month, those kind of clicks.
Yeah.
I take a
So
pause.
Vikram, just to pause there, like I was talking to one of the insurance defense firm yesterday, and they were like, their billing department was like, oh, even billing this customer takes us like 5 hours in a week, and none of the executives believe it. They're like, oh, you just need to clone it. The billing is as simple as it goes. So technically, this is gonna give them real time picture. Like they actually spend 5 hours, right, with the browser's clicks or
And this is actually, again, I mean, right now, what we're doing is we are not only converting into actual time entry. So in the time entry, it's going to show 5 hours. You were actually on Salesforce, for example, working on log counting, and you were generating a bill. However, then if you really want to go in depth, let's say the partner is coming back and saying like, why exactly 5 hours took? So we even have one level further, like we do have a raw data. We are not deleting that raw data. We do have a raw data which is telling you exactly what activities you made on the system. Another important thing I forgot is like, so we are not just simply capturing your activities and sending it to LLM. So we are actually having some, the agentic system, which this is the first agent which is working behind the scene, which is looking into your company database. So that's why if you have any case management system, let's say you're working on Litify or you're working on Filevine or let's say Advologics. So we are going to connect that data. So we are going to pull your basic information like projects from there, or matter, for example, from your case management system, and then we are going to capture some of your ongoing tasks. So we are passing that information as a RAG to the LLM. So now as a prompt context, we are pushing them so that the LLM should understand, like, all right, you may be on the Salesforce, but you may be on this particular matter. For example, let me share my screen again. Screen, entire screen. All right. So for example, if I am here, let's say right now I'm in Adologics. So let's say I am going here demo 9998. So if I'm clicking here, so the system know exactly what matter I'm in because we know that activity. But there may be like, okay, is this a matter or is this a client or what exactly is going on? That part system do not understand, right? LLM don't know that. LLM only know the text. So what we are doing is we are actually passing this data through the vector database as a context to the LLM saying that this is a matter name, right? Or this is a matter number. So then that is where it is actually taking that. It is going to take your Salesforce, for example, activity, and it's going to say, all right, in your Salesforce activity, you were at this matter name demo 998, matter number 76543, and you are working for 1 hour, and you are clicking on billing, and you are clicking on file upload, and so those kind of things you can actually achieve even if you go more in depth.
Right. So I think even for us, like the problems it is solving, not just giving us the time entry automation, but it is also giving me all the inefficient data that people are spending time on, which we can definitely
That is the
streamline
goal.
to. Yeah.
That is the goal at the end of the day, because internally also, like when we were pretty heavy on the professional services, the biggest problem I guess was people don't enter time entry. I mean, I was telling people like, come on, enter time entry, and then how can I tell anyone because I was not entering my time entry. So, so I mean, at the end of the day, I was like guessing, like, all right, let me see my calendar, or let me see my meeting, so I can just put those hours. And from calendar, there's another feature is basically if you are we are syncing your calendar to those kind of things, those are all add-ons. So you can add like, okay, I want to sync my calendar, so we can automatically pull your calendar, read the data from your calendar, and send it to the LLM. uh, Now the biggest thing, I mean, everybody may be concerning like, okay, I mean, you are reading my data, right? You're reading my email, you're reading my tabs, what I'm doing. uh, as is initially mentioned, like you can actually define a rule like what exactly you want system to be reading. But then we are, so your privacy question, we are literally every organization have its own database. I mean, we are not putting into any standard database. And when we are pushing for example to LLM, there are, again, I mean, as I said, at enterprise level, if you really want a high secure level, you don't want us to make even call to basically LLMs, we can actually literally install that LLM very specific to your law firm. But right now, because still in beta, we don't know what kind of load it is going to be there, what kind of the heaviest cost it is going to add. So what we did is we fine tuned the model, and we are hosting on our own server. So this is not multiple, like each organization don't have their own LLM. It is like our set of LLMs which are working together.
Okay.
However, again, it's a very simple architect which can be copied to any enterprise, law firm who really want to have high level of security.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
And I think one of our customers actually reached out yesterday and they asked like, what is the, how does it work with Microsoft Office? Like,
right. So as I mentioned before, so right now there are two extensions available. One is Chrome extension. The second is executable on the Windows or Mac. Uh, but then we are hoping that because if you are on the computer and computer activities, it is capturing. We tested it. However, there is a better way of doing that, which is like we can actually create a Microsoft application and we can deploy it here, and it will show exactly the way you are seeing on the Chrome extension. It will be similar kind of thing pop up. You can see like what exactly is it is capturing and what exactly it is doing with my data. So that part is still in progress. We are anyway releasing beta. We definitely need to test with our internal user and few of our internal clients. So our goal is like in 2 months when we are all fully tested, making sure that we are not breaking the bank with this all calls to LLM and all, how we can actually optimize that. Then we are, in the meantime, we're also working on that Microsoft extension too, uh, just to improve. Because if you're on, let's say, Excel or you're in Word, or so we should able to capture that. So that is on the way. That is on definitely. We can understand that's a problem, because if you're working on any document, we want to know what document you are working on, and we are trying to capture some of the keywords in the document so that we can actually try to understand what particular case you were working on. So so that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned about AI, so just curious, like how AI would know like what I'm working on.
Right. So we are capturing all your activities from your screen. So any tab, let's say you mention, like for example, I mentioned this Salesforce, right? So I mentioned Salesforce. So Salesforce, whenever the tab get active, our Chrome extension started taking your activities, and it's just simply sending it back to the our database. Now we are sending that database with the full context of projects and full context available to us from your case management system. We're wrapping it up together and sending it to our LLM. LLM is also fine-tuned on the time entries, billings, like all the law firm billings, and some of the rules defined by the bar associations or law society. So, like American Bar Association, if you Google it, they have like rule defined for the time entry. These should be the rule. There should be comma here. There should be dot here, all those
Right.
kind of rules. So we are passing all those rules. We fine tune it. Then we are passing this through the RAG. We are passing this as a context also to our model, and then model understand that. And we actually, I mean, when internally I tested again, I mean, when we are gonna go with different kind of application, we did test with Litify, we did test with Advologics, we did test with Filewine. Data is very accurately captured by the system. System understand what's going on, what exactly matter you're working on, what task you're working on. uh, However, we did not test. I like our goal is to start testing with different kind of project management tools also, so that we can concentrate on some PSA market too. uh, but I mean, we can keep on again, I mean, uh, with the LLM, I mean, we don't want to overtrain it again. But right now, our accuracy is like I found it's very accurately identifying most of the tasks. And again, I mean, we are not hard coding anything, right? I mean, we are just showing you like, all right, these are the time entries. As a user, you have ability to basically review it. I mean, instead of you type everything, we are minimum giving. Let's say we are not accurate, right? Out of 10 entries, two are wrong, just go ahead, delete it. Right? I mean, instead of you type all 10, minimum with this you can just remove 10, 2, or maybe let's say out of 8 you found, all right, this 2 did not predict my project accurately, or my description is little, just go ahead and update it. So you review it and submit it, and the moment you are going to submit it, we're going to take that time entry, push it to your case management system, cleaned up data. So you still have ability before you submit to review it, remove anything. And of course, I mean, you're 100% right. AI can't be 100% accurate. I mean, I mean, I haven't seen 100% accuracy yet, but it is pretty close to removing your hours of work, right? So
Right.
that's game plan.
Right. And how about security from, I think,
Yeah,
because
security. I mean, look, right now it is on a very secure AWS server. Uh, all the data is going to AWS, and then it is integrated through all the secure channels. And our LLM is very securely, set it up on Amazon. So now, again, as I said, I mean, those LLMs, that whole architect is written in such a way that those LLM, we keep on calling multiple LLMs to achieve different kind of things. Now the those are pretty much like global to us, like any user, let's say anyone customer, uh, we are not passing the sensitive information, but all the captures and all this, once they cleaned up 80%, we send it to LLM. uh, that is pretty common. However, that is not, we are not sending it back to someone else, right? So it is just simply LLM. It's just like Chat GPT, right? So you are using Chat GPT, using Chat GPT. So you don't know what I'm chatting, right? But minimum that Chat GPT is becoming smarter with your question and my question. So it's the same thing. But we can totally understand because I mean, at the end of the day, this LLM hosting, it's not too expensive, but again, I mean, it costs. So again, if any enterprise come back and say, you know what, I'm concerned, I'm sending my time entries, for example, to some kind of, let's call, not call it LLM, let's call it Chat GPT. So I'm sending this to Chat GPT, and Chat GPT may be using those time entries for whatever reason. Great. We'll put your own open source LLM. We can give you the option of like these are the 510 LLM, and we already have data sets. We can, you know, fine tune your LLMs and say, all right, it's all yours. And then, of course, it's going to add into the cost of that licenses. So,
Perfect. Perfect. I think this is such a great addition.
absolutely. And we are looking forward to that. I mean, stay tuned with us. We are going to do a lot more demos on this and little more detail. And we're capturing all the question and, queries about this product. And we are planning to have little more on this as we will heading towards our 18th November launch date. And then, of course, once the real client will start using it, we'll have little more real time scenarios they will be asking question about, and we are going to keep you engaged. So in fact, you should actually join our log counting page, so we'll keep on updating there. And please join our these weekly calls so that we can actually uh, keep you aware of what's going on.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. I know we are over time, but thank you. This was really productive session, Vikram.
Thank you. All right, thank you everyone.